Welcome, ZASLOW Show 2.0. It is a Friday, the 31st and final day of March. Good to have you aboard. We are a Blue Wire podcast. However you're listening to us, always appreciate it if you like, you rate, you comment, you do all that good stuff. It's for the algorithm. It's not for me. It's for the algorithm, and the algorithm does stuff for me. Then I get all the monies, and I'm very rich. So make sure you like, you rate, you comment, you do all that good stuff. And, of course, everything ZASLOW Show 2.0 is brought to us by the title sponsor from day number one of ZASLOW Show 2.0, Anidjar and Levine Accident Attorneys. If you've been involved in any kind of an accident, first you call 911, let's make sure everybody's safe. Then you get an attorney on the phone immediately when you call 800-747-FREE. That's 800-747-3733, Anidjar and Levine. None of this is possible without my friends over at Anidjar and Levine Accident Attorneys. So, this is a huge sports weekend. We know the way we do Fridays. Obviously, I'll tell you all the big games and the not big games. I'll tell you all the big movies and the not big movies. There's a lot happening here. Our pal, Odyssey Sports, you bet, Nick Costos. We did weekly spots with Nick on ZASLOW Show for several years. He will be on ZASLOW Show 2.0 today. Love catching up with Nick. He'll come on, give us the final four plays. We're going to do a lot of WrestleMania with him as well. Maybe we'll talk some NBA with him too. But if you're looking for the plays this weekend for the final four, hey, our guy Nick, he's going to point us all in the right direction. So looking forward to talking to him. This really is, I'm super excited for this weekend. This really is, it feels like an all-time weekend. It's an all-time weekend for South Florida because it's something we've never had before with the Final Four, UM and FAU. So not only is it a first-time, forever kind of weekend for the South Florida sports fan in regards to collegiate basketball, it's also let's be honest, it's also very likely a weekend, a Final Four, we will never see again. You could say, okay, hey, Miami basketball's here to stay. You could say, hey, FAU, they're on the map now. They're going to be a good team. The Final Four, you got to win 4 games in the tournament to get here. It's so hard. You need a lot of luck. And to have both Miami and FAU in the Final Four, I'm pretty comfortable saying we may never see this again. So this is an all-time South Florida sports weekend. Savor it. This has the potential to be so much fun. So in that regard, as far as South Florida sports go, it's an all-time weekend. And at the same time, there's so much going on sports-wise. But if you're a pro wrestling fan like myself, we got the Final Four and WrestleMania. And WrestleMania's 2 nights now. It's been 2 nights for 36 in the Performance Center. And then they kept it 37, 38. So this is the 4th year. 4th year that WrestleMania is 2 nights. Everyone I've asked, we'll ask Nick as well, Nick Costos too, but everyone I've asked, pro wrestling fans, everyone loves 2 nights of WrestleMania. I love it also. Look, we have a situation here. We have a situation in the ZASLOW Mansion family room this Saturday night because I've been telling you all week. You know what my setup is. I got the 2 TV setup. I got the big screen TV in the ZASLOW Mansion family room, and then I have a much smaller TV off to the side. So what gets big TV status in the ZASLOW Mansion family room? What gets small TV status in the ZASLOW Mansion family room? We'll get to that coming up. But first, I want to start with, and we got the Panthers last night. Yes, they're still dead, but yes. So, opening day, Major League Baseball yesterday. Games were down an average of 21 minutes. That's excellent. Apparently, there were 10 games yesterday. I guess a total of 15, right? There were 10 games yesterday that were under 3 hours. You had some of them as low as like 2:20. And I think 4 of the games that went over 3 hours were like 9-8, 10-8. They were very high-scoring games, which is going to make for longer games. But the key is, okay, see, because with Major League Baseball, it's not just about the length of the games. It was the combination of the games are too long and there's no action. People would be okay with long games if there was action. So it's about both. It's about speeding up the game and also there being more balls in play. And I do think getting rid of the shift helps that. But if you're going to have games that are over 3 hours, you don't mind if it's a high-scoring game. That's a lot of action. So it seems like Major League Baseball opening day throughout the country yesterday seems like the clock is a big success. There were 14 violations, I believe, with the pitch clock. I think 8 of them were pitchers, so you do the math. 14 minus 8, 6. Yeah, so 6 on the batters, 8 on the pitchers. First one ever. First violation ever is Marcus Stroman. That's going to live in infamy. Not really. So 14 violations yesterday with the clock. That'll happen every now and then, but also everyone's going to continue getting used to it. I'll be able to tell you firsthand when we come back on Monday how I experienced it, because I am going to the Marlins game tonight. Taking my son, he's meeting up with some friends, so we're going to go to the Marlins game this evening, Marlins and Mets. Jesus Luzardo, who didn't pitch a ton last year, had like 10 starts maybe, because he was hurt most of the year, was very good when he pitched last year. And so he's a guy they're obviously depending on, local kid who they traded for from the Oakland A's a couple years ago. So Jesus Luzardo on the mound tonight. I'll be able to tell you firsthand how I'm experiencing the speed of the game and all that stuff. Marlins yesterday, official crowd was 31,000, which falls about 7,000 short of capacity. So like we expected, no sellout yesterday, which is especially Marlins lost 5-3, by the way. But the no sellout is especially troubling when you know most of the crowd was Mets fans. So today, first Friday game of the season, I expect a pretty good crowd. Now, when I say pretty good crowd, I feel like the lower level will be full, not a whole lot in the upper level. And it'll be mostly Met fans. So this should be very troubling. Expected if you're if you're living in reality, but this should be very troubling for the owner, Bruce Sherman, that you're going to see what the crowds are like this weekend, and they're going to be majority Met fans, and they're not going to be majority Met fans when the Mets are not playing the Marlins every single game, every single series. And I think the Marlins are going to have extremely poor crowds this year. And it should be a red flag to the owner, who, by the way, is not any better than the new owner, than the old owner. Like, old owner, same as the new owner. It's amazing that, and this is year 6, I believe, Bruce Sherman as the owner. They don't feel anywhere closer to contending. They are not going to be able to hit. Offense is a major struggle for this team. You saw it for most of the game yesterday. Excuse me. And it's remarkable that I go into this Major League Baseball season for the Marlins. I have extremely low expectations. I do not plan on watching on a nightly basis. And say what you want about Jeffrey Loria. There was never a season under Jeffrey Loria that I didn't go in with at least some kind of expectation, a little bit of hope, and the plan to watch every single game. I did. And this is what a major indictment it is of the new owner, is that I go into this season feeling apathetic toward the Marlins. That's the worst thing you could say. It's a major indictment. Anyone not named Loria should have brought new excitement to this fan base and to this franchise. And at least for me, a day one Marlins fan, I am at my lowest point as a Marlins fan. I've never been less interested in the Marlins than I am right now. And it's incredible that not Loria would have fans feeling the way that I do. And I'm sure there are others. So we'll see what the crowd looks like tonight. It won't be last night, and last night was not even close to a sellout, which is an embarrassment. That's embarrassing. But overall, it seemed like opening day was a big hit as far as the pitch clock goes. So we got a lot going on here. Like I told you, Panthers, big games, big movies, WrestleMania, Final Four, amazing weekend coming up. Can't wait. Super excited. But hey, if you're dealing with any kind of water damage in your home, you got a water leak, maybe you can't find where it's coming from, you got to call my boys, the Greensteins, at Water Cleanup of Florida. This is serious business here. You don't want to let this get out of control. If you even think you may have a leak, all right? Water Cleanup of Florida, 954-900-8635. Over 60 combined years of experience. The team at Water Cleanup of Florida, they're going to handle all types of leak detection, 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. Here's my favorite part. I don't have to call a bunch of different places to do the job. After the leak has been located and repaired, Water Cleanup of Florida, they're going to clean, dry, and fully restore all of the damaged areas. They're fully licensed, insured, certified to provide that one-stop shopping that all of us busy homeowners or busy business owners, we require. There's no need to bring in other contractors. Water Cleanup of Florida is going to handle the entire project from start to finish, serving the entire Tri-County area, Miami, Broward, Palm Beach County. Call or text Water Cleanup of Florida anytime. 954-900-8635. That's 954-900-8635 or WCUFL.com. Water Cleanup of Florida. We clean up your schmutz. So, last night, the Panthers, second night of a back-to-back. Sergei Bobrovsky, still ill, non-COVID illness. I don't know what's going on there. Still, no Sam Bennett. So, Panthers playing the second night of a back-to-back. They are in Montreal. The Canadiens suck. Must-win. All of these are must-win games. And the Canadiens suck. And what happens? The Panthers get down 1-0 pretty early in this game. But from that point on, really, it was all Panthers the whole way. Anton Lundell, second game in a row he scores. He knows what he did a few games ago, but a nice little response there from Anton Lundell. He scored his 11th goal of the season, tied it at 1, and really from that point on, it was all Panthers. Kachuk had the next couple goals. Lundell would score again. Kachuk would get an empty net goal at the end of the night. Hat trick for Matthew Kachuk. Over 100 points on the season. What a home run trade that's been. Second Panther ever and second consecutive season. Last year, Jonathan Huberdeau. Second Panther ever, believe it or not, to have 100 points in a season. So, without question, it's been a home run trade for the Panthers. They beat the Canadiens last night 5-2. Full credit, Alex Lyon, who has been fantastic these two games, unexpectedly having to fill in for a sick Sergei Bobrovsky. Great job. He was standing on his head 2 nights ago in Toronto. He was why the Panthers had a chance to then go to overtime and win that game. So, Alex Lyon, first star for me after these last 2 games. Excellent job there. And here's what the standings look like, okay? This is important stuff. So, Panthers don't play again until tomorrow. They're at Columbus. The Penguins won last night also. We're not focused on the Islanders. The Islanders are 4 points ahead of the Panthers right now. Both of them are even with 6 games remaining. We're focused on the Penguins. The Penguins do have a game in hand still on the Panthers. The Penguins are still 1 point up on the Panthers. Excuse me. 1 point up on the Panthers after they won last night in Nashville. So, here's what we got this weekend. The Panthers have Columbus tomorrow. They're in Columbus. That team's terrible. The Penguins play twice this weekend. So the next time we talk on Monday, ZASLOW Show 2.0, getting your week started, these two teams will be even in games played. The Penguins have Boston on Saturday. Best team ever. And then they're at St. Louis, the Penguins. I'm pretty sure the Blues are good. Let's see. The Blues are not good. Okay, there you go. They are an under 500 team. They are not going to make the playoffs. But Boston at St. Louis. They're going to be even in games played come Monday. Panthers have to win tomorrow. If the Penguins only get, let's say, 1 out of these 4 points available to them over the weekend, they'll be tied come Monday morning, and the Panthers will have the tiebreak because right now they have 4 more regulation wins than the Penguins. So this could be it. This could be the chance of the Panthers to get back in front and weather that storm where they lost the 4 straight games before winning these last 2, the back-to-back. So that's where we stand right now for the Panthers. I still don't believe they're going to make the playoffs. Am I doing a reverse jinx kind of thing? I don't know. That's for you to decide. But that's where we're at right now. Okay, so start of the show, giving a little bit on the Panthers. Not a whole lot more there right now. I mean, last night you kicked the shit out of the Canadiens. That's to be expected. Opening day Marlins. I'm going to the game tonight. Jesus Luzardo pitching. I'll make my debut appearance at Lone Depot Park. We'll see how that goes. Pitch clock seems to be a good thing so far. That's all working out. Our pal Nick Costos, Odyssey Sports, You Better You Bet. He's going to join us coming up. We'll talk WrestleMania with him. I'm super excited about WrestleMania weekend. I'm super excited about the Final Four. I mean, we are one sleep away. One sleep away from the Canes and the national semifinal. We'll get to that coming up. But there's a lot going on, as you can tell. And you may be saying to yourself, ZASLOW, I don't know what to do with all my time this weekend. I gotta know. Is it a big game? Or is it not a big game? That's right. Big game or not a big game. ZASLOW Show 2.0. You know how we do it on Fridays. Big game or not a big game is always brought to us by Brunt Insurance. From Pensacola to the Keys, Brunt Insurance and Financial Services, delivering comprehensive insurance and financial solutions tailored to your needs. Since 2013, they specialize in home insurance, auto insurance, life insurance. I've been using Greg Brunt and his team at Brunt Insurance for about 10 years now. That's because I trust them. The market's confusing. I need a little bit of help here. Don't just go out there on the internet and put home insurance. No. Bruntinsurance.com, 954-589-2204. Let Greg Brunt and his team at Brunt Insurance sort it all out for you. Fully licensed staff, and I already told you, Pensacola to the Keys and beyond. They know the area, wherever you're calling from, all right? So if you need that affordable care, who doesn't? And they offer the best coverage for your automobile, motorcycle, boat, not just homeowners. You're making the right call. Brunt Insurance, 954-589-2204. And not just homeowners insurance, renters insurance, condo insurance. You know what I'm talking about. Bruntinsurance.com, 954-589-2204. Let's get after it here. Big game or not a big game? Tonight, 6:40 p.m. Bally Sports, Florida. Live from Lone Depot Park, the second of four. The New York Mets, hate them, at your Miami Marlins. So yesterday, Max Scherzer, he gets the win. No decision, Sandy Alcantara. Marlins lose 5-3. Actually, I don't think Scherzer got the win because those 3-3. I'll have to double check that. Excuse me. But the Mets win the game. That's what's most important. Marlins, will they get their first win of the season with Jesus Luzardo on the hill tonight? 6:40 start time. Love that. They've been doing that for a couple years now. And considering the average time of games now, I mean, can I get out of Lone Depot Park by 9 p.m.? What a pleasure that would be. Mets at Marlins tonight. I'll be in attendance. Not a big game. Marlins aren't playing big games this year. I don't know what to tell you. Not a big game. Big game or not a big game? Let's move things along to Saturday. 6:09 p.m. CBS. The Florida Atlantic University Owls. San Diego State Aztecs. Final Four National Semifinal live from Houston. That's right. FAU is in the Final Four. My man Ken Levicka, he's joined the show a couple times. The voice, the radio voice of FAU basketball, he had almost a catastrophe, if you read the story, at the end of the regional championship where he lost his broadcast connection, lost the internet connection for a couple minutes, and finally was able to plug back in and reconnect for what would end up being the final call. I mean, the nerves and anxiety that wash over your body in that moment. I had agita just reading about the experience. Every broadcaster has been there. Every broadcaster understands what was happening there. But it was happening to Ken at the absolute worst and most heartbreaking moment for something like that to happen. I got agita just reading about it. But he pulled through. He fixed it. And he had a great call. Houston, you have a problem. FAU versus San Diego State. That's a big game. That's right. FAU versus San Diego State. That's a very big game. Can FAU make the Final Four? You don't need me to tell you anymore. You know it's a big game. Okay. Saturday, 7 p.m. Bally Sports, Florida. Your Florida Panthers are at the Columbus Blue Jackets. Blue Jackets suck. Panthers have bounced back with consecutive wins on consecutive nights after a 4-game losing streak coming at the absolute worst time. Of course, Paul Maurice. Kids, cover your ears. He was calling his entire bench a bunch of fucking pussies. And what happens from that point on? The Panthers, they come back and they beat Toronto, and then a real good performance against Montreal will carry over to Saturday night against Columbus in another must-win game for the Cats. Panthers at Blue Jackets. That's a big game. Yup. All these remaining games for the Panthers, until they're eliminated, are big games. Spoiler alert. All right. Big game or not a big game. Saturday night is chock full of big games. I'm sorry, it's a spoiler. Saturday night, 7:30, Bally Sports Sun, Dallas Mavericks at your Miami Heat. Now, I hate the Mavericks. I mean, is this Kyrie Irving going to stick it in me on Saturday night and beat the Heat? I don't think so. This Maverick team, they suck. They're terrible since trading Kyrie Irving, which should be a surprise to no one because he is a special kind of poison. The Mavericks are on the cusp of missing the playoffs entirely. Right now, they're outside the play-in looking in. They're a game back of number 10, Oklahoma City. Kyrie is the worst kind of poison on your professional sports team. The Miami Heat, on the other hand, they're not going to catch Brooklyn at number 6. Forget about the idea of catching New York number 5. It's about holding on to number 7. And right now, the Miami Heat are 1 game up on both Atlanta and Toronto for that number 7 play-in spot. The Heat, it's going to be good to be back home, even though the last time they were there, they got their shit kicked in by the Nets. Mavericks at Heat. That's a big game. Yeah, can't afford to lose it. That's a big game. Okay, everybody settle down. Saturday. I told you Saturday. Saturday's the day, man. Saturday, 7:30, Apple Plus. Inter Miami at Cincinnati. Now, Inter Miami, they won their first 2 soccer matches. Now, usually I call it football, but I'm a soccer expert, and I want to make sure I'm inclusive to everyone, so I'll call it soccer so everybody understands what I'm talking about here. You know I'm an inaugural season ticket holder for Inter Miami, right? Okay, so Inter Miami won their first 2 games. They were both at home. Then they went on the road for 2, lost both of those. And then they were back at home last weekend, and they lost. So Inter Miami now is 2-3. They've lost 3 straight. That's not good. Now they're back on the road where they haven't won yet. Can they stop this early season skid after such a nice start to the season? Inter Miami at Cincinnati. Not a big game. It's not a big game. Look, there's so much going on. If I'm not paying attention to it while the other things are happening, how could it be a big game? It's not a big game. All right. We're still on Saturday night, by the way. Saturday, 8 p.m. Peacock. WrestleMania 39, Night 1. Oh, I can't wait. The opener is John Cena making his return, challenging for the United States Championship, the champion Austin Theory. That's how we're going to kickstart WrestleMania 39, the main event. It really feels like a double main event on night number 1. Charlotte Flair defending the SmackDown Women's Championship against Rhea Ripley. And the Usos defending the undisputed WWE Tag Team Championship against Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. All kinds of other things are going on as well, but those are the big matches. WrestleMania 39, Night 1. That's a big game. You know it. You know it is. All right. Saturday, 8:49 p.m. If you tune in at 8:50, You've missed the first minute. 8:49 p.m. CBS. Connecticut Huskies versus the Miami Hurricanes. Men's basketball Final Four national semifinal. The Hurricanes. Can they make history? Can they keep it going? Jim Larinaga, Isaiah Wong, Nigel Pack, Jordan Miller, Norchad Omier. Are they going to get it done and get to the Final Four? If the Canes beat UConn, they're a 5.5-point dog, and we're going to get Nick Costos on here. He's going to tell us what he likes. If the Canes get past Connecticut, and look, Canes beat a number 1 seed Houston already. They beat a number 2 seed in Texas. If the Canes get past UConn, who's a favorite? The Canes will be favored, whoever they face, in the national championship. Could we get a Canes FAU Final Four? Will I have to go online, buy a plane ticket to Houston, and go to the national championship on Monday night? I can't predict the future, so I don't know. Miami versus UConn. That's a big game. Note. All right, everybody take it easy. Now, one more here. Let's move along to Sunday. 8 p.m. Peacock. WrestleMania 39 Night 2. That's right. WrestleMania's 2 nights now. I love it. And it feels like it's center stage, which of course is what the Tribal Chief demands. The main event, Roman Reigns, who is close to 1,000 days as champion, the undisputed WWE World Heavyweight Champion, Roman Reigns, my Tribal Chief, takes on the American Nightmare. Will he be able to finish his story? Cody Rhodes. I don't need to tell you anything else about it. You already know. If the Tribal Chief is on the agenda, WrestleMania 39 Night 2, that's a big game. And that right there is another edition of Big Game or Not a Big Game. Yes, brought to us by Brunt Insurance. Let Greg Brunt and his team at Brunt Insurance take care of you. Homeowners insurance, car, life. I've been using Greg for 10 years now. 954-589-2204. BruntInsurance.com. Let him make sure that you don't lose sleep. Let him make sure that you know that you're always going to be taken care of. God forbid there's some kind of damage to your property. BruntInsurance.com. Wow. Think about that Saturday night. This is what Saturday night is. You got the Final Four, 2 straight games starting at 6 p.m. You got the Panthers. You got the Heat. You got Inter Miami. You got WrestleMania Night 1. Is it the best night ever? Is it the best night ever? So now you're asking, what's going to get the TV in the ZASLOW Mansion family room? And I got to tell you, this is one of the toughest decisions of my life. It really is. So, at 7 p.m., you got Panthers and Jackets. All right, that's going to get one of the TVs. The other TV, the small TV, will have FAU San Diego State. If the game's close in the end, we'll flip it to the big TV. You understand what I'm saying? The Heat, we could put on my iPad. The iPad could be next to me on the couch. Inter Miami is going to get completely shut out. That's why it's not a big game. Then WrestleMania gets going at 8 p.m. By then, the FAU game is over. Panther game is second period. Heat game is really still just underway. WrestleMania. Wow. Major decisions to be made here. All right. WrestleMania is going to get the big TV at that point. Small TV now. FAU's over at this point. All right. Miami game hasn't quite started yet. So small TV can feature. The Panthers will now be pushed to the small TV at that point. We still have the Heat on my iPad. Now, once the Canes game gets going, that's when things get dicey. Okay. The Canes at that point are going to go to the big TV. WrestleMania is going to move to my iPad. Because if I have the iPad right next to me on the couch, I could still pay attention. I could even have you know what? I could even put a AirPod in one of my ears so I can still listen. So WrestleMania at that point is going to get my iPad. The Canes are getting big TV. ZASLOW Mansion, family room. Small TV, going to have to catch the end of the Panthers. When that game's over, it'll then be the Heat. And we'll have the end of the Heat game. So that's what it's going to look like. Big TV Canes, small TV, end of Panthers, then end of Heat, iPad, WrestleMania. That's what we're looking at. That's how we're going to do it on Saturday. What a night. What a night. Unbelievable. I'm going to be so tired by the end of the night. Obviously from all the drinking. But I'm going to be so tired at the end of the night. Can everything we want to happen? Can FAU win? The Panthers win? The Heat win? Inter Miami win? Miami Hurricanes win? Can we go 5-0 on Saturday? I'm not even counting the Marlins. You know what? Since I'm not counting the Marlins, let's not count Inter Miami either, because I already told you it's not a big game. Can we get an FAU win, a Panther win, a Heat win, and a Miami Hurricanes win? Can we go 4-0? Or are we going to get the quadruple dick punch? No one wants the quadruple dick punch. Can we get 4-0? Oh man, I'm going to be so tired by the end of the night. I'll sleep so well if everything happens. Oh, it'll be the best sleep ever. Partially because I'm using Sheets and Giggles. That's right. Sheetsgiggles.com/ZASLOW. Use my promo code ZASLOW. Your first order, you'll get 20% off if you use my promo code. Sheetsgiggles.com. The ZASLOW family now, we are 4 of over 100,000 Americans who sleep on Sheets and Giggles. I love that comforter. It's heavy, but it's not heavy. If that makes sense, you know? It's breathable. It keeps me warm. But I'm also cool underneath it. It's soft. It's so comfortable. I got the sheets, of course. I got the pillowcases. I sleep on a eucalyptus pillow now. I love it. They even have eucalyptus mattresses. And for those who, should be interested, Sheets and Giggles, super environmentally friendly. They care about the earth. They care about the environment. Sheetsgiggles.com, my man Colin, CEO and founder. I know he's super pumped up about the Final Four this weekend. Again, use my promo code ZASLOW at checkout, 20% off your first order. You won't regret it. Sheets and Giggles, sheetsgiggles.com.